Hi, I'm Joel Lunenfeld, Vice President of Brand Strategy at Twitter, here with the ARF at CES.
So how does advertising work today?
Yeah.
You're leading advertising at, arguably one of the world's largest social connectors, platforms, networks.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I think there's a few ways to answer that. I think if you look at like the typical McKinsey purchase funnel, it looks more like a Jackson Pollock painting today. You can go from seeing something that literally someone just shared in their feed to buying it instantly. So you didn't really have to go research or go through all the various steps. And you could also be an advocate for something you never purchased.
So talk about, I was really intrigued by this shift in the paradigm of how advertising works that you all are leading with Vine and Niche. Speak a little bit about that and the how that catalyzes. It's just very different than the traditional way of thinking about targeted advertising.
Yeah, I think if we look back a few years at like the rise of YouTube and the YouTube star, it was pretty apparent after a pretty short time that there's a new generation of stars forming, right? These are those that have a more kind of intimate connection to their fans. It feels much more personal. It's much more serialized. It's much more live. Vine came along, and I really think it changed the entire game of mobile video.
I think it did too.
Rather than having to create and edit, it just made it instant, right?
Yeah.
So then a whole slew of people arose on that platform that they're vinographers or viners, people that are making many figures today in that art form. And we acquired a company called Niche last year. They've got 20,000 of the top creators in the world. And today we've got, whether it's electronics or fashion, we can find the influencers that speak to women 25 to 54, and they can be like an authentic ambassador for a brand. So just like the days of having David Beckham as your kind of lead brand icon, now you can start to really get into niche audiences, hence the name Niche, by working with these new creators.
So, I mean, you've had a spectacular run, and you are in the thick of this amazing career. How about failure? Any failures along the way?
Advertising was something I was getting into, but music is my first passion.
Okay.
And I moved to Atlanta to become a musician. I had a handshake deal with someone that I thought was going to go somewhere, and within a month of moving there, it completely failed. And I was literally playing my guitar on the street corners and singing. And from there, I was like, well, I have this kind of fallback digital media thing going on, and that's when I decided to get serious about this career and really start applying and inventing and trying to find the right environment. So it was that failure that drove me completely into this career today. And you can YouTube.
Still involved in music?
Yeah, I definitely still play, more for like my daughters to sing with me than professionally. But yeah, it's a big part of my life.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things that I was really inspired by is your commitment to nonprofit organizations, and you actually created one.
I did, yes. This
so
last year.
Share that. I think it's really powerful, your story.
Yeah, I joined the board of a nonprofit a few years ago called Hire Heroes, and they place veterans and their spouses in jobs. And just being around their CEO, Brian Stan, and that organization, and seeing the good they do, I realized that there's something that we can all kind of give back. And growing up, my dad was a teacher, and he used to teach at-risk youth in New York. And I used to teach kids in camp and drama and music and things like that. And I just haven't done that in years. And I think having my daughters actually really started, woke something up in me. And it became a creative project and obsession. And I've been boxing for years too. It's something I love to do.
It was some martial arts, right?
Yeah. So this is about giving martial arts to kids that need it most. And what we found is the minute we thought of the idea, it had to happen. And just like any creative project that I've learned in my career in advertising, you just have to come up with a concept, the idea, and then keep daring yourself to do more and more. We got our nonprofit license. We launched in December, and we are currently fundraising and teaching kids in Oakland.
I'd love to ask, what do you feel your biggest success has been this past year?
I think my biggest success has been, achieving both through the nonprofit through Twitter, and also at home we have now a 1-year-old, so we had a
Oh, you do?
brand
Yes,
new baby
I wanted to ask you about
on the
family,
way.
because you're like family first.
I feel like
Yes.
I've been able to really integrate everything. For me, learning to integrate it together is going to be like the lesson that I take with me. Family, work, nonprofit, I think they can all tie nicely together.
Yeah. So what prediction do you have for 2016?
I think this is going to be the year that, we don't just say the word data, that it's actually integrated into the workflow of marketing operations. I see that firsthand with amazing companies like Unilever that are taking all of the data that Twitter can provide, all the human thought and feelings, and building into everything from product development to how they work with retailers, to how they respond to customers, to how they find what matters to motivate customers to buy.
Well, Joel Lunenfeld, it's just been such a pleasure to speak with you. I
got
got to first mention that thank you so much for sharing Jeffrey Graham and your team, Tim, and you have the most amazing team.
Thank you. I absolutely believe that. They're
Jeffrey's
incredible.
on our board, and he's expanded his organization, and he's just been so generous about all the things that he's done for the ARF, but also inviting us and myself personally to share our thinking, because this kind of collaborative exchange it's really important. We're not going to get there without it. Thank you so very much.
I really appreciate it.
Congratulations on the nonprofit success.
Thank you very much.
That's really dazzling and inspirational.
Yes. It's Guardian, so
Guardian.
Guardian.org.
Guardian.org.
Yep.
Fabulous.
Awesome. Thank you.